Well, how do? It is a new day. Let me show you what we got going on now. The farmer in.
Liddell.
The farmer in.
Liddell.
Hi-ho, da dirty do, the farmer in.
Liddell.
All right, so I took a chunk of this and turned it into several chunks that look more like that. And then I welded them on there, there, and here. And yep, I'm gonna break the rules. There it is. You've seen all you need to see. No, I ain't showing you all the rest of them. You want to come see them? Come see them. Oh, it's fairly thick material. Well, fairly thick. It's like 3/16 material that we're welding on to galvanized sheet metal. So it's not going to be the best weld. That one happens to be in a pocket. It's welded, okay? It's going to stay there. Anyway, we'll squirt a little bit of paint on those once they cool down just a little bit more. And then we'll go hang that up so that we can start getting this barn door put on. So I got these things cleaned up. They're old, but I hit them with a wire brush and gave them a squirt of paint. And we got the rail done. I don't know if you can see that, but I'll show you that in a minute. But I'm going to build a framework for this so that we can hang it. Right now what I need to do is find out how much distance from the top of this to the wheels and the top of the rail is. So that angle for y'all, but we're looking at 4 inches. Okay, let me set you up over there. So I'm going to put one of these on the end that the handle's on, and then I'll put another one down there, but I'm going to put it a foot in so that way it can go all the way to the end of the rail and clear the door by a little bit. But to get some adjustment out of this and to where this sits flat on the top, I need to create a cavity for the bolt to go in. So I'm just going to hit it with a hammer. That'll mark it. And now we can drill it out with, there's a name for these things. I call it a paddle drill. I think it's a Forstner bit. I don't know. It's got a name. I just don't know it. Leave it in the comments. Tell me what these things are called. I don't know. That should be deep enough. Hey, look at there. Yeah, buddy. All right, and I'm putting it all the way down so that the door sticks out. I suppose we could slot that so that it's more adjustable, but we're going to go with all the way out because it's just a wood shed. It doesn't have to be airtight. We're not doing some kind of like cool room or trying to heat it or anything like that. No human occupants, except when you're getting wood. So anyway, both of these are going to go into the top 2x4. This one will capture the one that goes down. Obviously this one is a foot in. We're only going to have those two because that's just the OSB and it's not structural enough to really hold anything. I mean, I suppose I could go through and put like a machine screw and put a washer and a nut on the inside, but it's just OSB. This door is probably only going to weigh maybe 100 pounds, so we'll already have 5 screws holding it on, so I think we'll be fine. I'm just going to omit that hole, not worry about it. We can do the same thing to the other side and then flip the door over. Oh, I'm dumping my coffee. Goodness gracious. This one's got a warp in it, so we'll use it for the shorter ones. Far enough. Put everything on our auxiliary workbench here, otherwise known as a tablecloth. Now I'm gonna flip it over and then spin it sideways so that we can get that measurement with the square, what do they call it, a square tube rail. You like my redneck sawhorses here? It's effective. Just saying, works. Okay. Am I doing this right? Yes, I am. Okay. Oh, come on. All right, there's a nut right here that I'm going to have to get to go down a little bit more because it's rubbing on the bottom of the wheels. So, yeah. I got the wrenches I needed and got these things broke loose. Had to struggle a little bit on that, but anyway, I saved you from suffering through that with me. Yeesh. So, currently, this one has a greater distance than that one. So I'm gonna suck this one down. I loosened it way up too much. So now come on. Okay. That one is just over an inch. And this one here is like 1.25 inches. So we're gonna screw it in about 1/4 inch, not quite. See what that does. I can see just a little bit of threads on the top of both of these pins. There's a nut below and above, so it kind of creates like a jam nut situation here. Okay. Right out about 1 inch. Oh yeah, that's good enough. Now, it's going to be a total pain in the butt to do it, but I can adjust the door for plumb by moving those so that even if the rail is not level, then the door can be plumb. But what we're going to try and do is sit a level on top of this. I'll put the first one in, the center one in, and then use a level to try and make the door plumb with the 4x4 post. I know that this is 5 inches from the top of this to the top of the door. So I'll measure down 5 inches from the rafters to the ground, and that'll tell us what our total length is. Okay, so as you can see, I had to put the tarp back up because we had this giant hole right here, and rain doesn't have to go very far sideways before it gets where we don't want it. But that's what we're not here to talk about. Not what we're here. Okay. Good grief. So, all the way to the ground, up to the, well, not all the way to the ground. We don't want it dragging, wagging. We'll say 80 inches, but then, so -5. If I can math, don't do math on film. It's bad. 75 inches is how tall we need it to be because it's 5 inches down, which is right at the top of this. So we're barely going to cover it up. I may, in fact, go ahead and put a 6-inch piece across the top here so that it hangs down a little bit. You know what? There's 5.5 inches of air gap up here. What am I worried about? In between the 2x6s. Yeah, again, we're not trying to create a HVAC type situation. So, it'll be fine. 75 inches it is. That's the height of our door. Let's get that done. So, 75 inches is what we're marking. And my cutoff piece is about 3/4 of an inch too short. Doesn't that figure? All right, well, it is what it is. We'll mark 75 on this side. See if I can get this janky tape to go up there. You remember that from the last video. Something fell on the end of my tape and it jacked it up, something terrible. Okay, so there's our marks. We are about to find out how close I can hit that line from the other side. There's a little bit of a difference, but very minimal. Not really the preferred method, but it's what we had to deal with. Okay, let's get this rail off of here. Now, if these were standard size 2x4s, then it should be 7 inches under 4 feet. But that's not the case. We want 41 1/4. And this one has got a little bit of a warp to it. I don't know if this will show up on camera or not. But see how it's got a little bit of a wag to it? So by cutting it into smaller pieces, that won't matter as much. But anyway, you guys were listening earlier, right? That was 41 1/4. Yes, yes it was. Good job, you remembered. What'd I do without you? 41 1/4. Where is the square? Found it. It's a little bit warped, so we'll have to just deal with it. It's a lot easier to screw down from the other side though. But anyway, now let's get a measurement. Let's see, what's half of 75? Oh, what did I say about not doing math on here? 6'3", so 3 foot 1.5 inches to the center. We're going to go 3 foot and just call it the top. Foot to the top of this board. It should be 41 1/4. Oh, that's interesting. So we tad over. It's like 41 3/8. 41 1/4. Okay, so she's a little fat in the middle. I could use that fancy pocket drill thing again, but I already put it away. Nah. I'm going to go ahead and come into it from the sides with longer screws, and then when we flip it over, I'll even do the same thing down here. That way when we flip it over, it's already there. We're going to put this in at a couple of different ankles. Run it backwards. Get a little bit of the pilot hole, then forward, and it won't try and run off on you. Oh my goodness. Clutch. Okay, there's one. Now I can turn it over. Now, depending on what order we release all these videos in, this is a drum roller out of our dryer. It decided that one of these, the little bearing that's supposed to be in there, gone. Made a heck of a racket. Tore the felt off the back and it was all kinds of unhappy. Anyway, it was cheaper to buy all 4 of these and the drive belt than it was to just get one wheel. So now I've got these 3 wheels, and farmer mentality, you can't throw anything away that seems to be fairly okay. And in a dryer, this is just cooking along for an hour at a time, whatever, and at pretty high speeds. I'm going to mount it on the edge of the door so that it keeps it from rolling against the wall. And I mean, that's as far as it's going to go. I mean, how many times are we going to open and close this in a row? Not very many. This won't ever get hot. Those bearings probably will never fail. Is it meant to be outside? Probably not. But if that bearing goes to crap, then I've got 2 more of these that are still good too, as long as I don't lose them between now and then. Probably about a foot up. So I just need an L bracket to where this edge of this wheel clears here by 1/4 of an inch. So I need an L bracket with a hole in it at 1 3/4, and we'll make the whole thing 2 1/2. See if we can find something. All right, so we're gonna have it like that and like this. So we'll have about 1/2 inch sticking out, and then we can make sure that that door doesn't grind across the other wall. But I think that'll help things stay put longer. So now I just got to paint this real quick. While it's drying, we'll go hang the that square tube rail. We got the rail up there. Yeah. So I've got a screw just underneath of it, and then there's another one up on top of it. I don't know if you can see, the lighting's kind of terrible. It's like 4 o'clock, so it's getting dark pretty quick. So anyway, we have enough sticking out so that hole right there, I can run a bolt through it so that the door won't just go zinging off. But anyway, I'll get you guys set up. I'll carry the door over here and we'll see if it'll slide in there without any much trouble. Any much? Too much. There will be a little. All right, well, I can already see that there's a 2x6 right here. That's going to be a problem. Got to cut that out. Obstacle removed. Bye-bye. Sheesh. Now we'll see how much trouble this thing will bring us. Oh boy, what am I hitting now? Okay. We may have to shim, put a little bit more behind here. We'll loosen this one up. And this one. Oh, there isn't one on the bottom of this one yet. I'm getting tired, guys. It won't go all the way to the end because the wheels hit. We have a pretty even gap all the way up, but the wheels are hitting up against the 4x4. So maybe I'll just face this with something. The only thing I'm worried about is Mises getting in there, but they can climb all the way up and get into that monstrous hole up there too. So Okay, guys, we got low battery flashing, so I'm not sure if this will take the whole thing, but here's hoping. Anyway, I brought you through the rest of this project, except the final last little adjustment bits, but you get the idea. Hope it was a little bit entertaining for you. I had fun doing it, and I was a little annoyed at time or two, but hey, that's DIY. Anyway, thanks for checking up on us. God bless, and we'll see you in about a week, maybe less. Depends on sunlight. Yep, it's that time of year. See you later.